Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
That reminds me of the wedding that I caught the bouquet, because I was someone's plus one. I was with my friend Heather, and she went to a wedding in Anaganesh, which is my hometown. So she's like, do you want to come to Anaganesh and we'll stay at your parents' place and we'll go to this wedding? And I was like, yes! And I had so much fun. I got so wasted, just danced with everybody, caught the bouquet, felt terrible about it because I'm like, no one knows me here. I'm just here with Heather. And so I went up to the maid of honor and gave her the bouquet. And I was like, this is yours.
That's the type of person you want coming to your wedding.
Thank you.
Because you make the one time I called a bride, Joe couldn't come to a wedding with me, and I was like, hey, you're totally okay to say no. Joe can't come. He's got to work. But I have a friend from Ottawa. Would it be okay if I brought him with me instead? Mm-hmm. And she said yes. And I said, really? Like, if it's no? She's like, no, it's no problem. The table where we were sitting at was like that awkward mixed table of like university friends, high school friends, and like a work colleague or two.
Yes! The best!
So no one knows anybody else. So
and
it's
like it was like 10 years or 9 or 10 years after high school. So like even the people who were like the high school friends, it was like, hi, like nice to see you again. Like haven't seen you in so many years.
Awkward.
The guy I brought as my plus one killed it.
Yeah.
Got everyone talking.
Yeah.
Like was out smoking cigars with the boys. We were tearing up the dance floor, doing shots with the bride's dad. Like
love it.
Got our whole table talking. And it was one of those things where it's like, you know what? Nope. Really fucking glad I asked if he could come along.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
It takes one person to make a dance floor. That's a quote I always remember. Like, there's always that moment at a dance where the music starts playing and no one's doing the goddamn thing.
I don't like it when you go to a wedding and no one's dancing.
That's why you got me.
That, I know, thank God. I'm not too worried at my wedding, but I've said this and I'm like, if no one dances at our wedding, that will be the day ruiner for me.
I'll make them dance, don't
We
worry.
had a funk band,
so
so we didn't have to worry about it.
You had a what?
Funk band.
Yes!
See, this goes back to me, like, I think the music component is so important.
Oh,
For us,
absolutely.
it was very, like, a band's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing is, not worst, just funny thing, a lot of our guests were like, oh my God, how do you get, we had Roxy and the Underground Soul Sound play, they're like a local.
Shut up, seriously?
Oh yeah, I have the biggest crush on Roxy, she's so fucking hot.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and a lot of friends were like, how do you get the band to play? How do you, and we're like, we paid them. Like,
Yeah.
That's more like maybe a music industry thing where people are like, oh my God. I was like, no, we just fucking paid them. Like, we bit the bullet. We like,
anyone who has it,
That'd be
that's
so
the thing.
awesome.
It was important to you, so you put money into that.
Yeah.
On the music topic, I have a very important question, and that is the first dance. Now, I know not all weddings do this, like the formal, like, here's the bride and groom dance.
We were actually talking about this,
and here is the fucking father-daughter dance that always makes me cry like a baby. And then there's like the really awkward wedding party dance where you have to dance with like the other groomsmen, and it's like incredibly awkward because you're like, I wish I could hook up with you, but you're probably not single.
Maybe after this song they are. I actually once was a junior bridesmaid for my aunt's wedding. I was 12. And they made me dance with my, like, 13-year-old cousin. And it was, like, that awkward, like, it was just not
So
not
I have
cool.
a tear-jerking moment
Okay.
on the topic of first dance. So one of my cousins got married on New Year's Eve, and it was beautiful. His mother, my aunt, she passed away a number of years ago. And so when it came time for, like, the father-bride dance came on, when it came time for the mother-son dance, the aunts got up. So my mom, her sister, my uncle's new wife, who I refer to as my aunt. They all got up and danced. My other cousin and I, we were at the table. We were bawling.
Oh my God,
He was crying. I have a picture of him dancing with my mother, and you could see the tears in his face. But it was so beautiful.
That's
it was
amazing.
so amazing. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, he still has this chance. And, like, I thought it was
all
wonderful.
these women who love him and support him.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my, and my mom was one of them. She's, my mom is his dad's sister. My mom is his godmother, that kind of thing. And I was just like, my cousin, her and I, we were bawling. Like, we were no good. Like, it was just so touching.
I don't think there's been a wedding that I've gone to weddings where I don't know the people, and I always goddamn cry during the
You should
dances.
be a wedding planner.
During the dances and the speeches, and specifically, not even like the specifically, it's the maid of honor speech that always gets me, because it's about like female friendship, and I've been your friend since then, and now you're getting married, and it's so cliche and so predictable, but I cry every time.
Did you see the text message I posted that my best friend sent me the morning of the wedding?
No, shut up. What
So
did
she
it
sent me
say?
like 8 text messages in a row, and I saw them later, and obviously screenshot because it was the best. But at one point in the like 18 text messages, it was like, so I was thinking, instead of who gives this bride away, can your dad and I shout, no one, but we take him as one of our own?
Oh my god.
And I, like, even just saying it now makes me, like, tear up, because it was just, like, and she's one of those people who, like, always writes, like, even on our guest book, it's like, I'm so glad and she's like crossed out your and put our big day was so great. And,
Right.
I love it.
because like there's
It's like
room in every
family.
relationship
Yeah.
for friendships. It's my
Family.
family, and it's
and she's welcoming him into your family.
exactly.
Oh,
And
that
to
gets
be
me.
like,
I got my hairs on.
this is the right
arms
person.
to
This is the right thing. This is like.
It gets me no matter what. And like I said, I've had times where I've not known the people, and yet the maid of honor goddamn speech makes me cry every time. Danielle, you better get married so I can do a damn speech.
See, the dad speeches get me.
I'm
that's
a
good
little
one, too.
nervous. I'm excited.
Are you
for
doing speeches?
Oh yeah, we're
Okay,
doing
sweet.
speeches. I'm excited for my dad's. I don't want to spoil anything because he's told me what he's doing, and I'm like,
Ooh.
this is hilarious.
He told you?
He told me how he's gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could say, oh yeah.
A little bit. Just like give us a hint.
So
Give us a tease.
okay, so my dad's a professor, so he's used to speaking to big groups of people.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
He's gonna do something professor-ish.
Yeah.
Professor-ish!
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for that. Going back to the whole first dances thing, we're doing the traditional dances. We're not going to do a bridal party dance. I've actually
Thank
never
you.
heard of that.
Don't make me dance with a non-single gentleman, because it'll make me
Do you have
feel
any
weird.
single groomsmen?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna end up at the dome after Mary's wedding.
Oh my God. I've joked about it. I'm like, Mark, we're hitting up the dome. Like,
I've
no.
actually never been to the Dome.
It's a rite of passage in Halifax.
But I moved here when I was like 26.
That's true.
Fair
That's
enough.
true.
And the dome has recently changed. So
Clearly
we're,
for the
so
worse,
we're
I would
doing the
say.
father-daughter dance. We're doing the mother-son dance. We're also doing an in-law dance.
Ooh.
So I'm going to dance with Mark's dad. Mark's going to dance with my mom because his dad always wanted a girl and they didn't have girls. So it's a chance for him to have that dance. It's going to be to the same song. So it's 2 birds, 1 stone, that kind of thing. So there's going to be 4 dances. Mark and I, me and my dad, him and his mom, and the 2.
Do you have the song picked out? Don't tell me what it is.
No.
Or if you don't want to. But do you have your first dance song picked out?
For my dad and I and Mark and I, yes.
Did you...
Those are picked.
What did you do for your first dance?
I paid an exorbitant amount of money to the band to learn a Prince song.
Which Prince song?
It's called Call Your Name. Call My
Aww, that's awesome.
It was
And they
really
learned it
good.
for you?
They
That's
learned it
so
for me.
That's
cool.
awesome.
Name. I paid more money than I will ever admit for it. But it was right after my birthday, and both my parents had given me money, and I was like, fuck you, take my money.
Oh.
And it was actually like, I thought I'd be like all awkward and weird and not, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much more than I ever. Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
so awesome.
Damn, that's so special.
My dad picked our song.
Yeah.
And he...
Your dad picked your song? How?
Or no, for the father-daughter
okay,
dance.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
bitch, that's your song.
No. He picked the song when I was home over Christmas. He's like, okay, so... Because we were going back and forth, we thought, we're not country music people.
Sorry, Nikki.
So that... Sorry, yeah. Nikki,
Sorry,
I
Nikki.
love you. So that eliminated quite a few. Quite a few songs.
Because there's that Garth Brooks song that, and I don't know, it's so predictable and everyone does
some
it.
of them
that,
are,
like,
yeah.
My Little Girl, Garth Brooks, which is a sad...
Or is it Tim McGraw?
But
maybe.
he picked a song.
Oh, yeah, I know,
Clearly,
you're right.
I'm a country music
You're
person.
right.
I like it, but my dad's not, and I'm like, cool. No, like, people can do what they want. And I was like, well, maybe Unforgettable by Nat King Cole. Like, that one's a nice one.
That's
And so
really
I kind of
nice.
stuck on that because I was just like, I have no
That's classic.
freaking idea what to pick.
My dad wanted to do a Bob Marley song, so...
But then, so
Love
Dad,
that.
he was going around, so when I was home over Christmas, he made me listen to this song, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that one.
See, it's funny because...
And so I'm like, it's not
That's
Nat
so
King Cole. As much as I love that song.
sweet that he picked
but
something.
Yeah, he picked it, and I'm like, I'm gonna cry.
So, question
Yeah.
about the father-daughter dance. This has gone so sporadically.
Oh, man.
It really is.
This is Intoxicated.
hilarious.
Do you have a... Yeah, I'm going to try to phrase this correctly. Are you and your dad very, like... What's the word? Affectionate, like, physically?
Am I gonna be like leaning on him kind of thing? Is that what you're getting at?
Like, are you a touchy-feely family? I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think about my dad and he and I dancing, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that would be awkward.
no, like
We're just not a huggy... Like, the
Some
way that we
people
show
are.
love is,
Yeah.
like a nod across the room.
hey, how you doing? No, we're an affectionate family.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so you have that comfort
Yeah,
level.
I'm
That's
not
good.
worried
That's
about
good.
it really. So.
I would be.
My dad's tall, so I'm just like,
But
okay, but
something to worry about or not worry about. You don't have to
do it. Thank
Yeah.
you. We're
You
going
can-
back to the key points. You don't have to do anything.
don't have to do
You
it.
don't want to do.
yeah.
And
Don't forget that.
as advice I've given recently to someone, if you're ever like a thing you don't want to do at your wedding, good example. Did you ever have you checked out A Practical Wedding yet? The blog?
No.
Ooh.
Oh, check
Should
it
send
out.
her that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so good. But 70% of my wedding advice comes from them. But then this is a great tip from A Practical Wedding.
Okay.
If you have something you're not doing, perfect example, you're not planning to carry a bouquet. Because some people don't
Yeah.
want to carry a bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
So, Susie Q at work is like, oh, so what are you doing for your bouquet? Instead of having to tell them, I'm not doing a bouquet, and then getting a long conversation about why you have to do bouquet, and it's so important, just say, it's a surprise.
Yeah, you said that on Facebook. That's such a good idea.
It's a surprise.
Oh, I
And
love it. It cuts the combo off.
That's awesome.
70% of the people you're having these weird conversations with aren't even coming to your wedding.
This is very true.
And the other 30%...
So they'll have to wait for the Facebook pictures.
And the other 30% aren't going to remember or care once it comes to your wedding. They're like, ooh, I'm already in it, having a great time, enjoying and celebrating.
Oh, I
It does
love
not
that.
matter.
Yeah, so that brings up a great point, actually, about... I got 48 comments on my Facebook status when I said I was
I tried
doing...
not to read them because I was like, I want
I'm
this to be a
responsible for
surprise.
at least like 20%
Of course, but like, it's so funny,
I'm
because...
just like, weddings, let me tell you more.
I do these podcasts, and like, I'll do stuff that like I really care about. I'm like, no one really gives a shit, and then I'll just be like, I'm gonna do an episode about makeup. Send me your makeup questions, and I'll get like, woomph, or like
Yes.
weddings, woomph.
By the way, your makeup's fucking incredible. I put on mascara today
Word.
because I was like, I can't go to Sarah's house without mascara on. At least.
I was kind of hungover.
Don't worry
today.
about it.
Oh,
Yes!
She was saying
Hence
that.
about the nap. That makes more sense now.
yeah.
But going back to the details people don't notice or people don't care about, one of the comments on my Facebook status was that one time, like, so my friend Danielle, a different Danielle, not my best friend Danielle, but another Danielle, wrote that her friend told her, if there's a decision that's stressing you out, think about the last wedding you went to, and if you can't remember those details, they don't matter.
They
Ooh,
don't.
That's a really good one.
That's a really, really
That is a
good
really
point.
good one.
And the way you were talking about decor, how you want, if you were to have a wedding, it'd be like you're in a different place, a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, go for that.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about decor and if it's not something that interests you, don't do it.
Yeah, 100%.
And I tell people that all the time.
Yeah.
Are you interested in doing this? Do you care about doing this? No? All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, when
Don't
we
do
went
it.
in to see, the Fleet Club, because it's brand new, they're like, okay, no tape on the walls. I'm like, that's fine. I don't plan on doing that anyways, because one, it's one less thing to worry about. But
That's
two,
just
it's
it.
you don't want to have like streamers and like, fuck,
Yeah.
seriously, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the centerpieces. They're not even gonna be that huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's not.
It's such
like,
a personal
I like
thing. It's what you want. Is
simplicity.
What it is. Yeah.
Is sometimes beautiful.
Yep.
It is beautiful. Not sometimes.
100%.
And you know what? Like, yeah, people might not remember it. People probably don't give a crap. Like, but that's what you want, and that's what's going to make it you.
Exactly.
And I'm like, you know what? This is what I want, so this is what I'm going to do.
One of the very best weddings I have ever worked in my, like, you know, I've done 100 as a wedding coordinator. I've done another probably 200 as a banquet server.
Oh my gosh.
I've experienced a lot of weddings. One of my absolute favorite, in terms of even the guests just having a ball, the couple getting married could not give a shit about the details. They hired a DJ the week before their wedding. I picked their wedding menu. Like, they came for a taste test. They could not be bothered to get back to me about what they chose for their wedding. So I chose 80%. Like, I went with, like, what they liked at the taste test.
Yeah.
And there was one thing they corrected me about, and I was like, thank goodness I'm hearing from you.
You're alive?
Like,
awesome.
They had no speeches. They had no MC. They had
Interesting.
almost, like, nothing you would expect. I was planning to go to Superstore and buy flowers to put together just simple centerpieces. They did end up having a florist, though.
Okay.
Complete surprise. I was like, this is awesome. Great. Because I was willing to go, because that's all you need is, like, some Superstore flowers and a vase, just something on the table. So there's something.
Something there.
But it was the best. Like, everyone was just there for their love. Like, it
That's
was
nice.
That's
so
adorable.
much fun. And, like, everyone had a blast. And it was just that reminder that you don't need all of the bells and whistles. Like,
So
you just
true.
You really
make it
don't.
happen with something simple and easy.
I've talked to
simple.
people, like, I've asked, like, okay, so what did you do for this and what did you do for that? And I've gotten a lot of, like, you always see these things, like, things that brides regret. I've talked to people and they're like, you know what? I spent too much money on this, or I hate to admit this, or whatever it may be. And I'm like, okay. I mean, that's good to know coming from me, or from my perspective. And I'm just like, I don't want to have those regrets.
That's fair.
Like, regret. That's not the right
Yeah, no,
word.
I think it's something you do different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, huh.
So what you're saying is I should probably botch my idea to have indoor trees.
No, you can do the indoor trees. You can totally do the indoor
You know what?
trees.
I actually, I think having gone down south for my two close friends' wedding, love the idea of a destination wedding. And the reason I love it is a beach is all the decor you need.
And you don't need anything
And like
else.
you work at a very picturesque location where
I love it.
like
Nothing else.
you could show up and just be there. Now that said, the other important thing I think, the dress.
Do you love your dress, Mary?
I do. I'm actually picking it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's here.
It suits you ridiculously well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've watched the Say Yes to the Dress and tried to get ideas and what?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
want
who
to
love
say
that
yes to the
show.
dress?
Yes. And
I
so
love
I was
when they
trying
go
to
in
get
there
ideas.
like, my budget is $3,500, or like, I'm just
Where
like,
do you have that budget from?
35,000.
Like, I went in knowing what I didn't want.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. My maid of honor was like, okay, I'm coming up to the city. We're going wedding dress shopping. It was November 10th. And it was a total spur of the moment thing. And I was like, all right, let's go. I got to start going. I got to start trying. So we went, and that day I found it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying stuff on, and I'm like, no. And then I tried one on, and I was like, oh my God.
So is it true what they say that like there's a moment when you have the dress on where you're just like,
You do?
yep, this is it.
Yeah. Mine is a Franken dress, so to speak. So it's a little bit of everything I saw from other dresses all in one.
Oh, I love it, Franken dress.
And I had it on, and
Exactly
I'm like,
what you want.
okay. It had everything that I wanted. There was one little piece that I'm just like, whatever. I'll go with it. Rebecca started. I looked at her, and she had tears in her eyes.
Aww,
And I'm like,
there it is right there.
I'm like, are you crying? She's like, no, I'm not.
There it is.
I felt good. I was happy. She's like, out of all the dresses you've tried on, that is the one where you have the biggest smile on your face. And I'm like,
that's the telltale
and
sign.
I said, I was like, I
matters.
can't stop looking at it. And I was like, I want to wear this to Costco. We got to go to Costco. Can I just wear this to Costco? Thank you. Like, I was happy with it. I did have a moment of, oh my gosh. Did I get the wrong dress?
Right.
I had those second guess moments.
Because what number in the queue was it? Like, how many dresses had you tried on before that?
I'd say it was maybe dressed like between 20 and 30.
What?
Okay,
I was
no.
not expecting that number.
Okay, no, maybe not.
I
I was expecting like four or
It's
five.
okay. It's okay if it is. I just would have been like, fuck this. I'm not getting changed into anything else anymore. Ever again.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm totally wrong.
Look on your face.
I'm dying in.
I can't really. I have.
It's
Okay,
possible.
maybe
It was a
like
lot,
10.
though. It was-
I'll say 10.
That's good.
No,
because
it's fair if it's 20.
I can't.
it is.
No,
It's just, I
I'm-
wasn't expecting it. That's a big
I
number.
feel like I'm looking, when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, okay, well, no, I looked at this one, I had this one out, like, I took this one off. Okay, it definitely wasn't 20 or 30. Let's be real. I'd say it was more in the ballpark of 10.
I will say Mary texted me the dress when she and I was just
I felt bad because I was like, they're not here. But at the
No.
same time, I was very happy how I did it because I didn't have so many voices coming at me being like, oh, no, I don't like this or I don't like this. I went with what I was comfortable in and what I was happy with.
Mary,
Yes.
I picked my dress a year and a couple months before my wedding because I was like, my mom's coming to town. What the fuck do I do with my mom?
Yeah.
Love her, but like don't know what to do with her ever. We don't like work well together in long periods of time. Yeah. And I was like,
I
let's go wedding dress shopping. And after a while it was just like, this is the, and I had to like message my best friend and be like, don't hate me forever if I buy
Yeah.
a dress
Oh, yeah.
today. And she was
Wow, why would you? Why would the friend get mad?
well, she made me send her a lot of photos first. But no, she, of course she wouldn't. Cause,
Yeah.
oh, this is my like Dr. Seuss of wedding moments. The people who matter don't care, and the people who care don't matter. Give a little lenient for like immediate family, but other than that, no. Like the people who matter in your life, they don't care what you do.
Yeah.
It's
no,
true.
that's true.
And the people who do care.
Fuck
Well, and I asked my mom lives in Newfoundland. So
Dang. Ding, 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 ding.
my mom lives in Newfoundland, so
Yes.
she would have to fly over. I asked her, I was like, Mom, do you want to come wedding dress shopping with me? She's like, honey, if you, like, she wasn't really for or really against it. She's like, if you're out and you find it, great.
Yeah.
If when I come over, we want to go get it, sure, we'll have a look. She wasn't there, but I called her that night and told her that, Mom, I got my dress. And I sent her a picture. And she was so happy. I called, my mom was in Nova Scotia actually at the time. And my dad was home in Newfoundland. Mom was here for like a course or something. And so I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I got my wedding dress. He's like, oh. And then there was this pause. He's like, no, don't send it to me. I want it to be a surprise.
See, that's what I was
Because I was going to text him. I'm like,
the
Dad, I'll send you a picture of the
best.
dress. He's like, no. I want it to be a surprise. I'm like,
love
I love it.
I think in a way, it makes it more special on the wedding day. In a
It
way.
does.
To see, like, yes, we've seen pictures, but like
To
to
see
see it
it
in
on.
person.
Yeah.
It's such a special
With
thing.
your
first
hair all done,
I
your
will-
makeup. Mark, oh my, so I took a picture of the dress, had it on my phone. I'm like, so I got my wedding dress today and like so happy. I left there. I'm pretty sure I was like, if I could have jumped up in the air and kicked my heels when I walked out that door, I was so happy. It was raining and I guess that's very good luck with anything related to weddings.
Rain's good luck. All
So
rain is
Alanis
good luck.
Morissette was wrong.
How many times is Alanis Morissette wrong?
So wrong.
Where was I going with this?
The dress and Mark.
The dress. Oh yeah. So I
Yeah.
told him and he's like, do you have a picture of it? I'm like, on my phone. He's like, where's your phone? I'm like, no, you're not looking at it.
I was just
But
gonna
he'd
say-
joke. Like, he would never do it, but he would always joke, like, give me your phone, I'm gonna look at it. I'm like, I would fight him for it. Like, no, and
there will be a good moment then.
it will be. And then I've also said to him, I'm like, you look at that dress, I have to then go buy another one. Just so you're aware.
Yeah,
So-
budgetary reasons, be prepared for that shit.
Yeah.
That's one thing I firmly, that's one tradition that I'm like, if I ever do get married, you ain't seeing that dress. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way. I totally understand people who want that.
Oh, yeah.
But, like,
To me,
you're
I'm
not
just like,
seeing
that's
it
cute.
before the day. You might see it before, like, everyone else sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But-
different.
You're not, ooh. I have so many other questions. Because we got a married person here, and someone who's about to get married, and someone who's far from it. Traditions like the whole spend the night away the
What do
night
you do?
before.
What's
Like,
your
you sleep separately the
We're
night
doing
before.
that.
Really?
Yeah. I thought about it, but then I was like, no, okay, the guys can go do their thing. All the girls will be at the house. Everyone's getting ready at the house. Oh, by the way, we're getting ready at the house.
Yes and no.
June 8th, you better be there.
God damn, I'm so scared. I'm gonna forget. I'm just
I'm
joking.
going to be texting you,
totally
Sarah,
joking.
on June 8th.
Where are you?
You better be at Mary's parents' house right now.
Oh, it's not even my parents.
Of course not.
No.
Right.
Anyway,
I had
so
that figured out.
that I was just like, I don't sleep well when Mark's not there. But I'm like, I'll have you guys. I'll take a
I'll
sleeping
spoon
pill.
you.
Oh, you're not going to sleep well anyways.
No,
You're
'cause
not
I'll be
gonna
so
sleep well,
freaking
like,
excited.
3 days before your wedding. And not in a bad way, just because you're excited and there's things
Adrenaline.
going
Yeah,
on.
exactly. So we're doing it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I fall on the line of like I think those things are fun, but they're not necessary.
No, they're
You know?
not because oh god, we've been together 8 years. It's like okay,
You know everything already.
I know it. Like
So, we spent the night together the night before.
Okay.
And we were like running around doing our own things, like spending time with our own individual friends, spending time together, like all over the place. One of my favorite memories of the whole like wedding weekend was like that night before the wedding, like eating crackers and cheese in bed together before like going to sleep. And that was like super nice and special.
yeah,
Because it's the last night as non-married people.
A little, and we're just like,
but it's like it's our day tomorrow.
Yeah,
like
it's our day. We're doing
Yeah.
this big thing. It was like you want to capture as many of those like small special moments together as you
For sure.
can. And for us, that was like a small special moment.
that's really cute.
On the other end, though, I had this awesome couple who I helped get married last April. And the groom was like determined not to see the bride before the wedding. Like not even see her that like morning day, like did not care. So the bride and her two sisters, who were her bridesmaids, spent the entire wedding morning in unicorn onesies running around. So you didn't know which unicorn was the bride.
That's
it was a mystery.
So cute.
And it was like so like
Sarah.
so sweet and awesome that he was like,
That's really cute.
I'm determined. I do not want to see her before the wedding. And like, why not have that much ridiculous fun with it? Like,
oh,
why
yeah.
we died with unicorn
Okay.
onesies.
Oh my
Totally.
god. Yeah.
So
or
much
like wear
fun.
face masks and then like
Side, I just saw on Instagram, on my work Instagram, that they're having a baby today, and I almost like cried when I saw it. I was like, you guys are gonna be such cool, nerdy, awesome parents.
That's unreal. I love little things like that. I love
That's
silly
cute.
things like that.
yeah.
Random question. Obviously, you haven't got married yet, but Rebecca, did you have sex on your wedding night?
No.
So is this a thing?
I was
Because
part of
I've
the
talked to a
30th
couple.
70th percentile.
Okay, I've talked to a couple different couples about this, and everyone says that they were too tired.
I'm curious about this.
Too drunk.
I'm very curious. I feel like
I'm
I
really embarrassed to admit it. I was too drunk. And not like he tried and I couldn't. Like, not like that. I was just like a shit show by the end of the wedding. And
yeah.
I hate to say my one advice is like, have like twice as much water as you would a regular night. Because everyone is like,
yes.
have a shot with me. Do this shot. Do that. And like,
Yeah.
I can hold my alcohol very well. But
Yeah.
by the end of that night, I was like shit-faced. And the
Oh,
last
boy.
30 photos from the photographer show it. And the day after, I was like, I really regret getting that drunk the night before. And
That's my
Also,
Joe
eat,
was
eat
super
food. Eat food.
Eat food. And
Yes.
I wish I ate more wedding cake. But
Everyone says that.
Every
bride says that.
And I like always save wedding cake for couples, but I was like, oh, we're going on our honeymoon the next day. We don't need any cake. Like, I gave it away to all the staff. 10 p.m. the night after the wedding, before going to bed, when we were like chilling around, smoking a joint, like finally could relax because I finally packed for the honeymoon. I was like, why the fuck don't I have a piece of wedding cake right now?
Where is my cake?
Definitely always save
that cake.
2 pieces of cake at least.
Eat your cake. Eat your wedding cake.
And I love
that should
wedding
be the title
cake.
of the episode.
Like, my biggest, like, job perk, other than seeing people in love get married and do special things, because I love making people smile and seeing people smile.
It's the best,
is
right?
wedding cake.
Yeah.
Wedding cake is the other thing, and I can't believe I just...
We're gonna have some cake after this episode, though, right?
Yeah, there will be cake involved.
But
yeah,
on the subject of getting busy on the wedding
sex
night,
because of the drunkenness.
I think it's either drunkenness or tiredness.
You're so tired. I
So
can imagine. Like,
tired.
I haven't gotten married yet, so I wouldn't know. But like, I've got this feeling like we're gonna be exhausted, because like there's the days leading up to it. There's the whole excitement, and then it's done.
And then the unfortunate part of every person is different. I'm usually like a fucking fantastic sleeper, can sleep through anything, do anything. The couple days before the wedding, I was like
Yeah.
squirrel,
Yeah.
like up, brain doing everything all the time.
Yeah,
Might not be that way, but
I'm gonna buy the
wanna
wedding
test
lingerie.
this theory.
I have it already.
Should we call someone live on the show and someone who I know is married and ask them?
heck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call Jesse because I think he's the only. I think he's the only one who would answer this question.
Yeah.
Honestly,
On the podcast, I'm
Okay.
gonna call. I'm gonna see if he's. I'm just gonna see. I'm gonna put him on speaker.
I really wanted to, though. I was like
want to.
determined. I was like, I want to have sex on the wedding night. Screw this, like 70% of couples don't do it. I want to do it.
You
And then I
should.
felt like such a dick because by the time I got home, I like could not see straight. There was
No, Jesse. Every time.
Like Heather.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Heather, yeah.
Yeah, she would answer it.
I couldn't-
Oh, this will be
I
funny.
couldn't listen to your Heather podcast because I knew it would just make me cry.
Oh,
I
it
wasn't
was
ready.
really. It was like.
I
Let
do
me tell
want
you.
to, but I couldn't yet.
She's like one of my best friends, and yet when we did that episode, like I felt like
What was the episode again?
it was
Sorry?
about child-free, not by choice. It was about infertility struggles and miscarriages.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel like we never in depth talked about it before that podcast. And like I literally felt like when I was saying things to her, it like she was having like epiphanies. It was insane.
Oh, weird.
It was.
Yeah.
I have had some emotional podcasts. Like, let me tell you. Like, I don't know. It's just
interesting.
you get to talking and
Oh, and I feel like if you like alcohol or no alcohol, you feel free in a different way probably to talk about things.
Yeah.
exactly less inhibited. Let's see if Heather answers. I'm gonna see if I can like put it up here. I probably can.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going? Are you awake?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Okay. So you're live on a podcast right now.
Hey, man.
I'm recording an episode about weddings.
Okay.
And I have a question for you, because we're talking about the wedding night and whether or not sex happens on the wedding night. So I thought I'd test the theory. Did you have sex on your wedding night?
Yes, but only because we felt like it was something that we had to do. We were really fucking tired.
It was obligation wedding sex?
Yeah, it was totally obligation wedding sex. I mean, the sex was great.
Okay.
But we went into it not really enthusiastically.
Hey, sometimes non-enthusiastic turns enthusiastic.
That's true.
True.
We kind of looked at each other and was like, should we? Yeah, maybe we should. I kind of don't want to. Neither do I. I'm exhausted. But okay, fuck it. Let's just do it.
I would have killed for that.
I couldn't have asked for a
That's-
better answer, really.
perfect.
That's awesome.
I called Jesse
true
first
life.
and then I called you.
Oh, good. Nice.
Yeah. So that's going on the podcast. I hope you don't mind.
No, I don't mind. I'm glad to help.
Okay.
Thank you, Heather.
Thanks,
Love you,
Heather.
Heather. Thanks for calling in, or me calling you. I'm drunk. Bye.
Okay, bye.
That's actually an awesome answer.
That's perfect.
Because everyone's like, oh, the bride and the groom, consummate the marriage, and it's just like, I love her.
Consummate what?
Consummate what?
No, but it was funny, her answer, and they looked at each other like, do you want to? No,
I
not
can
really.
totally
Do you?
see that happening.
That's funny.
We're gonna wrap it up a little bit. We're gonna end on 2 questions for each of you. Let's start with you. Let's start with Rebecca. From a planning perspective, what's like your top tip? And it can be overarching, but I guess let's say someone's really stressed out and they're getting overwhelmed with everything. What would be your advice?
So, from the beginning, wedding, like overwhelmed, you're just starting to plan, and this is completely stolen from a practical wedding. I'm probably not going to do a good job of like paraphrasing them, but sit down with your partner. Sit down and talk about the top 3 things that are important to you for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then talk about your budget.
Yeah, that's so important.
And then key in on those 3 things that are important to you, and the rest doesn't matter.
Nice.
Make sure those 3 things happen, and the rest is fine. It will be great. The wedding can be whatever you want it to be.
3 things. Okay.
I like that.
I really like that advice. That simplifies it down. And it also promotes communication.
Yes.
Which
Talk
is
to your
always
spouse.
good. Yeah.
Always.
Oh my God. Talk to those spouses. I'm drunk.
All right, Junkie, next question.
So, Mary,
Yes.
what are you looking forward to the most for your wedding? And I should say, I'm hoping to get Mary and Mark on before their wedding as a couple.
Hopefully. If not, we can do an after special.
So there'll hopefully be another episode, but what are you most excited about in terms of your wedding day?
I think the happiness that's going to come from that day.
Yeah.
In the sense, like, Mark and I, like, being with Mark, being his wife, having those moments of, like, just looking at each other and here, I'm getting cheesy here.
Yeah.
I'm getting cheesy. But just having those moments of looking at him or looking at each other and thinking, you're my husband.
Yeah.
We did this. I love you. And having our family and friends that are there celebrating. And I think that whole happiness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what I'm most.
The whole overall feeling.
Yeah, the feeling.
Unity.
I think I'm so excited for the happiness. I'm excited for those moments of laughter, the smiling, the hugs, the. Like,
you just want bring it on. You just want that love.
I'm reaching a point. Yeah, no, and I'm excited for the love that's going to come from that day.
It's good that you're not concerned about your stilettos and you're more concerned about
or what's the exact proper photo moment. In this exact second.
That's good. That's
I want it to be more of like, the love and the happiness that's going to come from that. I think that's what I'm most excited about. Like a song coming on and everyone up and dancing and everyone, like really. Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
That's what it's all about. It's all about
that's
that party. It's the party sound. It's all about the party.
But even
and
like in the dinner and like the moments of the celebration and the laugh and.
Are you writing your own vows?
No.
Okay.
No.
So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I like to tell this one. So Joe and I didn't write our own vows either. Mm-hmm. And I've heard countless beautiful vows that are handcrafted and really thought about. My husband's perspective was, why don't we do that just for ourselves? Why does it have to be for everyone else?
It's so true. You know what? It's a good point.
And we did it. And we did it just for ourselves. And people can do it in front of everyone, but not everyone's comfortable sharing that.
Yeah.
It depends on the couple. It depends on the situation. I think that's what we can take from this episode is that it's all different. But if you love the people in your life, you're going to embrace that. You know what I mean? Like whatever they choose to do.
You should.
For sure.
Embrace that. It's my big thing to parents out there. Traditions do not need to be followed.
It's so true. Something borrowed, something blue, something.
I've had a lot of fights with my mom about little things that do not mean anything. And it's not important.
Yeah. My parents are of it's your day. You guys do what you want.
That's beautiful.
I like that. I'm like, yes.
And you know what I think is an important takeaway? And I think, me with my feminist agenda, speaking up for yourself. And so if you don't feel like you want something done or you don't feel it's necessary, speak the hell up. Mm-hmm. And don't care about anyone else and say, like, I just don't want that. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And own it.
And in the beginning, I was very concerned about that. And now I'm like, no, I don't want that. That's not happening.
There's a thing
There you go.
You kind of build that confidence and think, okay, no, I'm putting this time, the effort, the money into this. This is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if people aren't dancing and chatting and connecting and having fun and celebrating,
I will be devastated.
It's not going to matter.
I'll be devastated.
That will not happen.
No.
That will not happen. And really, the only thing you should consider as a couple getting married, any couple, is, are you terribly inconveniencing people?
Yeah.
Like, are you making it hard on them? No. And that's why I say communication. Communicate with you. You can have a kick-ass potluck wedding as long as you talk to the right people and let them know in advance and let them say, hey, we want to have this kind of party. This is what we can afford to do. Could you please contribute? This is what we want as a wedding gift.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many steps and ways to do a wedding that costs almost nothing to a wedding that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So true.
Just communicate and be true to people with what you want and what you want to happen. And don't be ridiculous and have like sky high dreams and expect your guests to do everything. Don't have expectations. Invite people to celebrate with you. Don't have expectations for them.
That's a great piece of advice.
My sister-in-law was invited to a family member's wedding, and 3 weeks before the wedding, everyone got an email that was like, this is a DIY wedding, so we'll be expecting you to help us set up, with tear down, with foraging for florals, for...
Hang on, what? Is this Burning Man? What?
One second. I actually have...
I want to know. This is...
to read. It was in Fernie, so it was like in a beautiful part of BC, but...
I was going to ask about the bridezilla thing, because I think that's like a phrase that like gets thrown around a lot.
I like using bridzilla for my...
Oh, I love it. I love
like
bridezillas. They're my favorite brides.
And I feel like blessed. I feel like it's a weird like spiritual connection thing where like I get to work with couples who are awesome. They're all different and they're their priorities always different. The weddings are always different, but I get to work with cool ass couples.
Hell yeah, that's so cool. That really, really is. And like seeing their day unfold, that must be so cool.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It's so special and it's so awesome. I love, like I was saying, I'm super lame. I realized before I knew I wanted to do wedding planning, I knew that I just wanted to do a job where I got to like make people smile.
Oh.
That's why I'm in hospitality, like
Yeah.
even like the non-wedding stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
it makes a
awesome.
huge difference.
That's so true.
Oh, okay, this is it. Okay.
Here we go. Bridezilla call out.
So I should show you the email they sent out a few days before. You could use it as a template if you ever had a bride that was trying to create a you work for me experience for their guests. LOL. Highlight. Everyone e-transfer us $15 more per person because the resort changed its price. We canceled the shuttle bus to the reception. It's a 20-minute walk and the town only has one cab, so plan to carpool. Guests need to transport their own chairs from the ceremony to the reception. It's a cash bar, so please bring change. And please sign up jobs from the previous list.
Oh my
Bitch! What is this?
Oh, hell no.
There's probably some more about the previous list jobs.
What the fuck? Like people have to do tasks for the wedding?
Which, I mean, I've had friends, instead of like a traditional guest registry, have like a couple like registry items that are personalized. Like we'd like pottery from this person, or we'd like this. And then be like, hey, we're looking for a sound system for the wedding, or we're looking for people to help with this setup, or
help us pay off the wedding.
Well, not pay off, more like
pay for.
Imagine yourself not in a great financial situation all the time. Imagine instead of like instead of a friend being like, hey, we'd really love someone to help us like put together centerpieces, we would prefer that instead of a wedding gift.
It's kind of like a co-op.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wedding co-op.
It's a wedding co-op.
Yeah.
But this isn't asking, this is telling people.
That makes me feel icky.
I don't like hearing that because I'm just like, if I got that email, I'd be like, well, you know what? I'm actually not going to go. Depending on who it was.
Oh,
depending on who it was.
It would be like, and this is like, they live
That's
in BC.
awkward.
They're having a Fernie wedding. Like most people, they actually, the mother, her mother-in-law of my sister-in-law, tried to get my sister-in-law to throw her daughter a money shower because she couldn't come home for a bridal shower. So they tried to get my sister-in-law to like host a shower via like email or Facebook or something where everybody sends her money in lieu of actually having a shower. And she was like, yeah, no, I'm uncomfortable with that. That's not something I feel good doing. And they gave her shit about it. Oh, I'm at the foraging one.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Sent an email today. We need to leave for the wedding in 3 weeks. So 3 weeks before the wedding.
Okay.
It's a DIY wedding, and guests will be responsible for decorating, setting up chairs and tables, taking down, baking desserts, going into the forest and getting greenery and making arrangements, and getting rental items cleaned and ready for pickup.
Wow.
Foraging.
No.
Forest.
Foraging!
Okay.
I told her, so they were in Fernie, so I was like, I hope it's a national park and they get arrested for like...
Jesus Christ.
Disturbing them.
Because so that's what I mean.
Like, in my mind, and like, no offense to anybody, and I don't mean this, and like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but, well, actually I kind of do. If you're inviting people to your wedding, they're coming for you. Like, I'm single, and I don't have love in my life. But yet I have to work, like in this case, forage, and put in chores to be part of your wedding.
Yeah.
It's just a bit much.
That's why you
showing up is
that's
what
why
it
you
is.
have a bridal party. That's why you have
talk to people in advance.
It's
I
not
think
the
it's
guest
no
responsibility.
problem. Like, you can have a beautiful DIY. But see, the issue here is they wanted a wedding that was like looked like it cost $100,000, and they didn't want to pay that.
They want the appearance.
They want the appearance.
They want the Instagrammable wedding.
They wanted the fucking Instagrammable wedding, and that's the shit that bothers me. If you want that, fucking pay for it.
Pay for it, or find a cheaper alternative.
Or find a cheaper alternative. And
Thank
you can do a beautiful DIY wedding. You can do a beautiful potluck wedding where people are... I'm sorry, to send out something 3 weeks ahead of time and say people are expected to bring desserts, not appropriate.
No.
To call and contact and ask people and talk to people ahead of time and be like, we don't want wedding presents. We just want to have a nice day with people having a good time with good food and stuff. Would you be willing to bring a dessert? I know
that
you
is
make a great
different...
pecan pie. Would you make... That's different. That's including people in your
delivery.
wedding. That's creating a community. Like, I'm a big hippie, so I'm like about this kind of stuff. But talk about it fucking ahead of time. Don't make demands of guests 3 weeks ahead of time.
And not assuming. That's something that is huge in this. In everything about weddings, stop assuming that everyone has that same idea as you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
this
Jesus
she
Christ.
spouts a little nuts, man.
Wow.
But just like, be reasonable with your weddings. Like,
be reasonable.
Just think about like the other people and communicate.
Communication.
Think about the other people, but also I think it's about like, do what you want to do, and whatever you want to do, communicate that correctly to your guests. And you'll be fucking fine.
I can't imagine like a week before your wedding finding out something costs a little bit more money, and just emailing all your guests and being like, by the way, it's gonna be $15 extra per person.
Yeah.
How do you think that's appropriate? Like,
nope.
just eat that charge.
It sucks.
Eat that charge.
I'm a big like the wedding
or like look into your stuff so that you know that there's not going to be a hidden cost, or like, I don't know, like we factored in, like, this is kind of going off top. We over budgeted,
as you should,
in the sense of the reception. Like there's gratuity, there's inflation. We're overthinking it a bit so that it's not going to be this massive shock when it's going to be like, what? Yeah.
It shouldn't. The wedding...
that's kind of off topic, but...
WIC, Wedding Industrial Complex, big term in the wedding industry. Okay. Big term in, like, the feminist, like, let's change this shit industry. Things cost more for a wedding. You're often upcharged. There's often hidden fees. I hate hidden fees. They're my, least favorite thing. People should know up in advance what they're paying for. There shouldn't be a, like... Oh, you didn't know about our $1,000 ceremony fee?
Jesus Christ.
3 days or 2 weeks or 2 months before the wedding. Because at that point, you have to pay for it.
In my research of venues, I was reading through some of the stuff. There'd be a cost here. Oh, a couple lines down. Oh, there's another one right there. No.
Yeah. My friend Anna.
Tell me flat out how much it's going to cost.
I try to tell people, like, as straight up as possible. Because nobody wants to be in that situation. Like, who wants to be in a situation where people are unhappy a couple days before their wedding? Who cares if you get more money? No one wants to be in that, like...
No.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
I can
so
see
true.
why the wedding industry is so huge.
Yeah.
To say, a lot of people are like, well, but how come an engagement, or how come a retirement party, or how come just a birthday dinner costs less than a wedding? I'm sorry. There is more work involved in a wedding. There is more work involved for your vendors. As much as you say, oh, we'll be easy, we'll be laid back. Yes, some weddings are a little bit work. There's a reason there is a charge for a wedding. And just do your research, choose vendors you trust,
Yeah,
and make sure you get what you're paying for.
absolutely.
But there's a reason. Where I work, we charge more for a wedding. We supply the service that matches it. It's not...
Yes.
It's
Okay,
not
interesting.
just for the sake of the fact that the term wedding is attached to it. And anyone will tell you. Florists will tell you. Cake people will tell you. Photographers will tell you. There is so much more involved with a wedding that makes it more work. That's why you pay more. It's not
Because if you
because
fuck up, it's going to be so much bigger because it's your wedding.
Yeah.
it's
As
not,
opposed to your birthday.
and
or
it's
like,
not just because it has the term wedding attached to it. For some things, yes. For
Okay.
some things,
Interesting.
absolutely, yeah. They put wedding on it. They're going to charge you more. But there is more work involved. So please respect that.
interesting.
absolutely.
That's so interesting because my friend Erin actually direct messaged me in regards to us doing this episode. And she said, one tip that I have is that when you're looking for things like, and it's things like tablecloths or things like that, to say this is for an event with this many people rather than wedding. Because if you say the word wedding, they will upcharge you.
I've heard that too.
It's interesting hearing it from the other side.
I've read the articles where they like do the cross comparison of where they like shop different venues, they shop different things, and they say this is this, this is this, this is this for like a retirement party versus a wedding.
Mhm.
Right.
And it's true. There
It's more.
are like price differences, but sometimes it does make a difference. Like
Absolutely.
I have people pay all different, like our rental fee is called a facility fee. It includes a lot of different like inclusions. It's pretty great. We charge a lot of different facility fees. The amount people pay for it does not reflect the service they receive, but it's a personal thing. And I can say over weddings than personal events, yeah, the weddings include a lot more. So
Yeah.
they're...
And that makes sense.
But for tablecloth rentals, no.
Stuff like that.
For fuck's sake,
Yeah.
that's exactly
Hack
the
the
thing.
system a bit if you can to save them money dollars.
Ooh, a good like saving money dollars thing. Depending on what you want for a wedding cake, if you just want to serve great cake to serve for your guests, a lot of caterers will do a cake that's like a regular size cake. Where wedding cakes, it's gonna sound weird. It's like 3 tiers of cake, so it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So that
But not-
higher cake, you pay more money for because it's more cake, obviously,
It's
and
kinda
because
more
there's
work.
more effort and more
Yeah.
work. But if you just want like delicious cake to serve your guests, just get the regular height cake.
Get a sheet cake.
Get a or a sheet cake.
Love me a sheet cake.
That was one of those things my mom was like, absolutely not. I'm like, I love sheet cake. I've had wedding cake that's like terrible wedding cake. Sheet cake from a grocery store, always delicious.
Damn.
I've heard people say that they went to Superstore and then just decorated it themselves.
it's delicious.
Yeah.
Speaking of cake.
All white with some flowers on it. Your florist is already going to give you extra white flowers. Or not
I think
white
she's
flowers,
giving me
extra
flower.
flowers. Yeah, they
I
will.
think they throw in something. It's at home.
Speaking
Which
of
don't wanna
cake
wrap
though,
me.
we're gonna go
Yeah,
eat some
let's go eat
cake.
some cake.
We're gonna wrap it up because we've been recording for 3 hours.
Has it been
Oh,
too
yeah.
long?
I'm not
She said
joking.
checked 11.
It's all good because it's gonna be a 2-part episode. I'm gonna release this in 2 parts for sure.
I don't know. You might not actually have that much good stuff.
No, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. But I just want to say, fucking thank you guys for coming.
You're welcome.
Like, this was epic and amazing.
This was so much fun.
And I think there was a lot of
like it.
insight. I think a lot of like soon-to-be brides can listen to this and get some insight.
For sure.
And thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
And I hope that you'll both be back on again.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go eat cake. We've killed all the booze. Oh my god. We really did. We drank a bottle of champagne and a bottle of wine. So I'm just gonna say ring that bell. That was epic. Thanks so much for checking out part 2 of our wedding episode. Don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Podcast on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting app. And give us a follow on social media. That's Facebook and Instagram, Intoxicated Podcast, and on Twitter at @in_toxicated. Thanks so much for listening.